So we're back in the database now, and I've got open here in my database the assets list and the contacts list. You've got more information in yours than I do. I just threw some information here to give you a quick example of sort of what we're looking for and to show you where a few things are, but the workbook really lays out the instructions for both this exercise and the next one. And actually there's no video for exercise 9. By the time you get to 9, you should be familiar enough with what you're doing to be able to complete it based on the instructions in the workbook without a video for exercise 9. There was no planned video for that exercise. But if you look at the assets list here, you notice you've got down owners, you've got locations, conditions, all this kind of stuff that's in the database that you put in as part of your last exercise. On the contacts list, you've got the same thing. You've got contact information, and you associated some of the contacts to your assets by giving the asset an owner when you created the assets. There are some reports that are built in down here under unassigned objects, assets by contact to. If you click on these, I've got them open up here, assets by contact. It gives you a report here that just basically goes in and grabs the specific information out of the database and puts it in a presentable format. It would be, you remember we looked in the spreadsheet, when you've got a lot of data, it's kind of hard to manage. Now we're working off of 2 tables with 5 data points each, so we're really just trying to get you to understand it. But I hope you see how complex it can become if you have multiple tables with hundreds of items, and you could pull this information with a click of a button, and you can have a nice report with your charts or your graphs or whatever you want, and it's automatically created for you. Now I use these in part of the work that I do with the athletic department. I'm in charge of sort of looking over some of the academic advising and monitoring with progress reports of athletes for eligibility. And so part of my job description, I have to pull a report. Well, I go to the IT department and request a report, and they are the ones that actually build it. I don't have access to the database. I don't have access to the tables. The only thing I have access to is the report. So the report is the part of this that's so important, because this is what you as the IT director would, if you are an IT director one day, you would be able to set people up and give them access to certain information. Or as the employee, knowing that you have a database, since you know about reports, you'll be able to say, hey, I need a report with this information and so on and so forth. So to create a report, you just simply come up here and click on the Create tab. And let's see, over here on the right hand side you click on Report, or you can click on Report Wizard, either one of those two, and it will open up the window that will walk you through the steps just the way it's laid out in the rest of the workbook. So follow through the instructions in the workbook, run your report here as described there. I'm going to let you work through it on your own instead of showing you, because it pretty much lays it out for you, and I want you to have to kind of look at it and figure some of it out on your own so you'll remember it more. But this is where you get started for creating your report. And just be sure you follow the instructions. If you have any questions, get in touch with me, your professor, or one of the grad assistants.